Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no bells, no whistles, no frills, just a man, a camera, and his game. Today's episode, we're doing the aftermath of the horrific mission to Hannover. Started out with 8 bombers and came home with only 3. Ouch. That's bad. Okay, so post-mission. So first thing, if the target card, which in this case wasn't, completely damaged, or if it's one that has a light damage card, there is a replacement card here that is in red. You shuffle that back into the deck to get it ready for the next go-around here for your next mission. So I'll quickly shuffle that. As I'm shuffling that, we'll talk about what's going to come next yet. We're going to check on our damaged bombers and our damaged crews, quite frankly, too. We still have some crews that still haven't managed to recover from earlier missions. This really has been a hard luck squadron for this whole game. It's bad. It's really been really bad. So, okay, now adjusting. Well, let's get our guys down to base. So the 3 crews that managed to make it through, they're already at the highest level that is even remotely possible. Victory points. This is where it's going to really get ugly. So if you notice here, we have -7. If we look down here to -5-7, it's a major failure, -2 to the campaign track. So I'm all the way down back to 1 campaign victory point. Wow. That's just, yeah. Okay. All right. So now, first things first, let's take a look at the damaged bombers that we have. Over here in that section, we have a number of damaged bombers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 4 damaged bombers, so let's see if any of those will be ready for the next mission. 3 of them are. Okay, well that's something good, at least for next time, because again, remember, every bomber that you don't have available for the mission, however many required, you lose a victory point. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crews that aren't ready. Now, bombers are basically a 50-50 shot. Basically, 4 through 6, they'll be ready. 1 through 3, not. Crews, there's only 1 or 2 that they won't be ready. And finally, all my poor battered crews have managed to get the rest that they needed, pull themselves back together for this awful mess, and they're ready to go. So that's on the plus side there. Now, I lost 4 bombers altogether, which means I lost all those experienced crews, which means I'll need to replace them with green crews if I can even get replacement bombers. Okay, let's see here. It's 1944. So let's see here now if I manage to get even a bomber replacement here. I mean, I may not be able to. So let's take a look here. So I got to roll 1 die per lost bomber. So right now I have 4 bombers that were destroyed. So I roll these dice and let's see if I get any kind of replacements. Now the good thing is, since it's 1944, I should be able to get replacements. So let's see, what did I get here? Okay, I rolled a 2, a 3, a 5, and a 6. So the 2s and 3s are going to give me B-17Fs, which is what I already have. The 5 and the 6 is going to give me 2 B-17Gs, which is nice because that does get an upgrade on the attack value. So I'm pretty sure, and I'm not 100% sure of this, but I'm pretty sure the B-17Gs have the chin turret on them, which was helpful. So keep that in mind. I'll probably use those as some of my lead bombers for next time around. Now, the other thing you normally would do here would be crew experience, but all my crews are basically elite. Although I need my 4 replacement crews. So I'll draw 4 green crews out of the cup here at random and bring them into the game. And again, with experience, if I had any crews that weren't elite, you basically roll a die on a 5 or 6. They upgrade 1 level. Green goes to veteran. Veteran goes to elite. a leader skilled. I forget what exactly the terminology is, but it's all the same thing in the end. War progress. Now, every time on the chart you have this little E here. Trying to bring this over here. That means you have to roll on the war progress table. What I do is I take one German die and one Allied die and roll them together because, you know, that kind of symbolizes the military conflict here. And I rolled a 4. Oh, I'm afraid to look. Let's see. Well, this is bad. So it's a V2 rocket attack on London. Advanced the mission counter 1 box. So not only did I have a horrific go last time, I just lost another mission out of my 15 by having to advance the box. So 10th mission won't exist. I'll have to be going straight to the 11th mission. Whew. Now, at the end, of course, if this was the end of the game, I would go and check my victory conditions, but it isn't. So now I'll go and I'll just share with you my new target for my poor guys. Next time, we're going to St. Nazarene. That's down here, the U-boat pens. So still, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 boxes away by the shortest route. Hey, the good news is we only need 6 bombers, so yeah, that's at least something. So, my thoughts on the game here, just kind of, again, this is not supposed to in any way meant to be a review, it's just kind of some general ideas. This is very much a narrative game. As you can tell, if you really let yourself get into it, kind of like I have, it really can be an immersive experience because, whew, my poor guys, wow, they're just, wow. Yeah, there's no other word for it. They're just taking a beating, absolute beating at this. So hopefully there'll be better days ahead here with this next mission here on St. Nazarene. We shall see. But I do like it because, again, it does kind of fill a gap between the tactical aspect of Target for Today / B-17 Queen of the Skies and the kind of like the strategic aspect of B-17 Flying Fortress Leader, where you're commanding squadrons of bombers. This one here, you just have 1 squadron at your command. It is a pretty straightforward, easy game. It is kind of a roll and see what happens sort of thing, but you do have some decisions to make. And again, there is criticism about that at times, but again, it's just a squadron commander sitting back in 8th Air Force. How many decisions can you make? You know, there's not a whole lot of decisions for you to make once you get the guys in the air. You know, this isn't like, you know, playing the Russian campaign or like unconditional surrender. You know, it's not like that. It's you're even playing something like I'm trying to think of another from another time period, or even like Napoleon against Europe. You know, this is very much at the operational level, and in particular with an air war. You know, you pick the target, you pick your crews, you decide who's going, and then you have to sit back and wait, and agonizingly at times. So again, this is one of those, you know, narrative kind of things, and I don't see where this is any different. And quite frankly, I don't see how. Let me say this: there's no difference between this to me and like it's the same thing as like video games, first person, you know, shooter games. It's like there's only so much you can do there too, you know. But at least this one, to me, it's more interesting. It's more of a story. It is more of a thoughtful kind of thing. So it definitely gives you the experience vicariously as much as it can, and it really does give you an appreciation of what these guys did and what they went through. I'll just close this video by mentioning this. Going over here to my library here. I would say that if you're interested in this book here, this Masters of the Air, is an excellent, excellent book. I enjoyed this a lot. This was very eye-opening as far as the air war against Hitler's Germany went, which, of course, by the way, incidentally, it was the very first book I ever read about the air war from the Junior Heritage Library way back in the day. And if I remember correctly, I believe that volume was also written by Stephen Sears, who, yes, it's the same Stephen Sears that writes all those Civil War books, like Landscape Turned Red and On to Richmond, or To the Gates of Richmond, whichever one is that title. I always confuse it with the game. I think it's To the Gates of Richmond. Anyway, bottom line is this. If you enjoy Target for Today and if you enjoy Flying Fortress Leader and you'd like a game that's in between with less record keeping, again, I hardly do any record keeping on this because I'm not interested in the record keeping. I'm interested in experience. Then I would say that this is a good game for you. It is very well made. The counters are nice. The charts are nice. The rulebook leaves a little bit to be desired because it doesn't quite follow the sequence of play. And I think with a solo game, it really needs to follow the sequence of play. So sometimes you find yourself flipping around looking for stuff. The cards are good overall, but again, there's a few things that aren't on the cards, like the bombing sequence and stuff. But overall, I give this game a thumbs up. It's going to stay in my collection. It is a game that, when I have that air war itch, so to speak, if I don't feel like being as complicated as B-17 Flying Fortress Leader or being as tactical as Target for Today, this is probably the game I'll pull out, quite frankly. So it is interesting, it's good, it's enjoyable. If you like those other two games, I do recommend it as a nice in-between game. It is a lot of fun, and it is very immersive. So, on that thought, this has been Tim Korchnoi with Bare Bones Wargaming, wishing you victory and good times in your games, and hopefully a lot more luck than what I've had in this game, because nothing like not being able to hit the target at all and being jumped by a bunch of ME-262s. So hopefully that won't befall your squadron. So until next time, with whatever game I decide to pull out and give an example of turn 2 and stuff. Again, until then, we'll see you. Hope you enjoy.